Introducing the all-new Corolla.
Bill 268 of the Guam Competitive Wage Act passed along party lines Saturday evening. Only the Democrats voted yes on the measure that amends the governor's Hay Pay plan so that agency heads, senators, the governor, and lieutenant governor get no raises. The bill only gives raises to the unclassified and classified rank and file, and a smaller raise to mayors. Senator Mike Nicholas explains.
But we're also requiring the Department of Administration to come back and inform everybody where the rest of the money is going to come from for the additional money that's needed for the raises.
Senator San Nicolas says this was added into the bill after Department of Administration Director Benita Maglotnia failed to provide any details about the governor's Hay Pay plan to lawmakers during two separate hearings. The bill also requires that DOA identify a funding source and a specific appeals process for those employees who feel that there is something unfair about the Hay plan. Once these things are provided, pay will then be retroactive to the February 14th date. Republican senators were the first to speak out against the raises for senators that would have paid lawmakers $85,000 a year.
That has me quite alarmed because when we go and look at the annual base salaries for state legislators throughout the country, putting us at $85,000 would put us second only to California. But more shockingly, when you look at the per capita costs of the number of people that our senators here represent as opposed to California, it's shockingly 216 times as much. So it's a number that I won't accept as a senator, and it's something that needs to be addressed.
I'm struggling with the fact that when I go out in the community, I see a lot of our families still struggling to make ends meet, and it's really unconscionable right now for me to accept a pay adjustment of that magnitude, knowing that this is happening in our community.
However, both Senators Limtiaco and Morrison voted no on the measure, as did their fellow Republicans, Senator Tony Ada and Senator Chris Duenas. Senators Yamashita and McCready had excused absences.
One of the things that really disappoints me is when elected officials get up and make a lot of noise but don't take any action. And this bill is actual action to take away raises from elected officials. And it was an opportunity for all the senators who had concerns about those things to actually vote for it. For senators to be complaining about something but not actually having their votes reflect where they stand is very disappointing.
So why did Senator Limtiaco vote no?
The Section 5 of the bill says that senators won't get a pay raise, but that's as it applies to the recommendations in the Act. But in so much as whether or not we truly will get a pay raise is a matter of interpretation, and I say that it does result in a pay raise.
Senator Limtiaco believes it allows for a pay raise by not amending the recommended raises for judges. Guam law links the salaries of judges to the salaries of senators. It says that senators will receive 50% of a Superior Court judge's salary.
By approving the Guam Competitive Wage Act, you are in effect setting the statute for that pay, and that statute was by recommendation that the Superior Court judge's pay will increase, and therefore senators' pay will increase as well, because they're linked.
That's too much telegraphing. If the judiciary does in fact do something that impacts the raises of senators, we're definitely going to have to take action at that point, and if we're taking this position now with this budget bill, clearly the senators will turn around and also reaffirm that position in the event that were to happen. So I'm already confident that among my colleagues and definitely with myself, if there were to be any salary increases for senators in the future, we're going to remain consistent and reject those salary increases.
Meanwhile, the governor has indicated that he will likely veto the bill.
Because of how it's structured, not only will increase inequity but amongst classifieds and unclassifieds in different positions and elected, but it's going to cost more. Very illogical. But we'll get to that later if you have any other questions. But I had to interrupt. That is one of the many flaws that I've seen in this concoction that was created in the weekend.
I don't know why the governor is so hell-bent on giving raises out to himself, all the elected officials, and to his directors. If he vetoes this, and his original proposal goes through, he's going to shortchange all the classified and unclassified employees because that money would have gone to them, and instead it's going to be going to all the leadership.